Hey, guess what? I've recruited Zach here, the yoga master, to give me and you a nice follow-along yoga running routine to help you improve your running. Hey, what's up everybody? Coach Brian here, and we got Coach Zach. He's awesome, he's the man. He is the yoga instructor that I recruited to help me improve my running. I'm a runner and I needed some help, and no better way to improve flexibility than to do some yoga. So Zach's gonna put me through a nice little yoga routine that's gonna help me as a runner improve my everything. So Zach, take it away.
All right, let's get to it. So if you're running, you really wanna focus on opening up the front of your body, especially your hip flexors and pretty much everything from the hips down. So we're gonna start in tabletop, stacking the hands directly under the shoulders, knees directly under the hips. We'll move through a few cat-cows here. So exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. And when you inhale, drop the belly, raise the gaze. Really getting some movement into the spine, using the breath to move the body. Good, and then we'll find our way back to a neutral spine. And then inhale, extend that right leg towards the back of the room, really reach with that heel. And as you exhale, bring that foot all the way through. Now make sure you stack that ankle directly under the knee. You want it to be a long line, stacking the joints of the body. You can use blocks if you can't reach the ground to really push into the ground and lift the spine up, finding a tall spine, getting into that hip flexor. And then as you release more tension, you can bring the hands to your knees. You can keep the back toes curled or drop down to the top of the foot. The key here is to really find the tall spine, really get in that hip flexor, get in that psoas. Good, and then the final step here would be to extend the arms up overhead. Now when you breathe here, really focus on breathing deep into the side of the body where you're stretching. Try to visualize with each inhale creating more space, and with each exhale releasing more tension. Good. And then with your next inhale, reach the heart up to the sky. Exhale, melt the hands down. Good. Now we'll get to the back of that leg. So with your next exhale, shift the weight back. You're gonna be straightening out the front leg, but not all the way. So keep a nice little micro bend in that knee and keep the foot flexed, toes coming in towards the shin. Make sure you're not rounding in the spine, finding a tall back, and then really begin to extend that front heel as you release more tension, straightening that leg, getting into the hamstring. Good, and then we'll bring some movement here. So with your inhale, with your exhale, point the toes down, and with your inhale, bring the toes up. Really getting into not only the calf and the hamstring, but also getting some nice ankle mobility, because as runners we all know that the health of our ankles is extremely important. Good, after you ran through a couple rounds of that, with your next inhale, slowly come forward, remove the blocks. Inhale, extend the arms up overhead. Exhale, drop the hands to the inside of that right leg, and then heel toe that right foot out to the side. Good. This is a good opportunity to try to scoot that back leg a little bit further back, finding lizard pose here. Good, and then press down into the earth with your hands, and with your next inhale, reach the right arm up to the sky, getting a nice little spinal twist. You really feel that in that hip flexor, don't you? Mm-hmm. As not only do you get into the hip flexor, but you get that rotation as well. Make sure that you're opening up through the side of the chest right there, yeah. And now you can stay here, or if you have the flexibility for keeping that right arm up to the sky, you can bend that back leg and then reach around and grab the outside of the foot. There you go. If you do that, make sure the hips are still sinking down and you're staying open through the side of the chest, right there. Good. That gets so much more into that hip flexor. Then when you're ready, you can release that leg. Inhale, extend that right arm back up. Exhale, down. Good. Step that right foot back into tabletop. And we'll do the same on the other side. So with your inhale, reach that left leg towards the back of the room, reaching with the heel. Exhale, bring it all the way through, ankle below knee. Hands to block, scoot that back leg a little bit further back. Good, make sure you're finding a tall spine here, really to get in that psoas and that hip flexor. Next step is hands to the knees. And ultimately hands up overhead. Good, really breathing into that side body, creating more space with each inhale, letting go of more and more tension with each exhale. Good. After you feel like you've released a lot of tension, extend the arms back down to the blocks and then reach the hips back, straightening out that front leg, but keeping it slightly bent while flexing the foot. Good. Now keep that quadricep engaged. The front of your thigh is slightly engaged to allow the back of your leg to release. Move through the flow here. So exhale, point the toes down. Inhale, point the toes back. Good. And when you're ready with your inhale, come forward again. Remove the blocks. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, drop the arms to the inside of that leg. Heel toe the foot a little bit out to the edge. Maybe that back leg going a little bit further. And then inhale, reach that left arm up to the sky. Just breathe here. Really enjoy that hip flexor stretch as well as the twist, opening up the left side of the chest up to the sky. Now you can stay here or bend that back leg, grab the outside foot, and then breathe. Make sure that you're keeping the side of the chest open up, sinking the hips down. Good, and then you can release that leg, extend that arm back up to the sky. Exhale, slowly lower down and step that left foot back. Good, we'll take a child's pose here just to open up the back of the body. So big toes together, knees apart, and you're gonna walk the hands as far forward as you can. Really try to keep the hips down towards the heels. And you can rest the forehead down to the earth. And when you're here in child's pose, really drop your awareness to the sensation of breathing in your lower back. Really focus on the expansion as you breathe and your lower back gets bigger, and as you exhale and it gets smaller. Focus on that, breathing into the lower lobes of the lungs. Good, and slowly we'll come up into tabletop. Find our way onto our backs for our final stretch. Now, having a yoga block here is not necessary, but you want something to have your hips elevated. So whether that's a blanket or a pillow or anything to give your hips higher than your chest. Good. And then you're gonna bring your knees up and then allow your knees to fall open to the side. Here in reclined frog, getting into the adductors, the inner thighs here. And just breathe. You can sit here for as long as you want, just focusing on breathing deep. You can also extend the legs out to the side, reaching with the heels, just opening up the inner legs, reaching with the heels as you breathe. You can even bring some movement here, inhaling, bringing the knees, or bending the legs a little bit right there. Exhale, reaching with the heels. Focus on moving with the breath when you're practicing yoga. It makes it a lot more powerful. Good, and then when you're ready there, you can lower the feet down, gently come up off the block. Hug the knees in towards the chest. And there you go, give yourself a nice little hug of gratitude for making it on your mat to improve your running and your overall health.